Hello and welcome back to the Blade of Akai channel. We are taking a look at the latest version update from Entropia Universe 18.15.0. First of all, looking at the kind of universal level stuff, we have new features, new items, various new items and Mindforce chips have been created. There's a new character sheet. Access the character sheet at the bottom right of the inventory user interface or keybind. This is the initial iteration and more functionality is being worked on. Let's take a quick look at that. So that's here, and we can get an overview of what we have equipped, and just see how that looks overall without having to mess around with cameras and stuff like that. I don't know what the upcoming functionality would be, but yeah, interested to know what that's going to be moving forward. So yeah, there's the character sheet. You can kind of do right-click stuff on a lot of this stuff and unequip stuff should you want to. Obviously, you can't equip because the list of stuff would be just huge, I think. Anyway, character sheet. Interesting. We have map improvement. Let me grab the patch notes so you can read along with me. The map can now zoom in 2 additional levels. The map now shows a location of players in your team. This is huge. This is huge. We've been wanting increased zoom levels for so long now. Now what? Hang on. 1, 2. So this was the max zoom level for Arkadia. Previously, which wasn't too bad, but you can now get in much further, and very precisely pick where you're trying to teleport to, or just look at different areas in a bit more detail. We've been wanting this for so long, and now we finally have it. I think the main reason for it not being implemented was basically due to the quality of the image being used for the maps. But honestly, I don't think anyone cares. We just wanted the zoom, so we've got that now. Then there's also this view the team on the map. I don't know what that looks like right now. Hopefully we can test that a bit later and see what that looks like. But that's also interesting, so we could actually see where our team members are on the map. So that's going to be kind of helpful. Some nice QOL fixes there, to be honest. Right, let's get the patch notes back up. Game localization. We now support 49 new languages in the Entropia Universe interface. Here's a comprehensive list. I'm not going to go through each of the languages. I'm sure you can read this for yourself, but this is good. Extra kind of, accessibility is always going to be helpful. Okay, moving on to changes. We got the font update, implemented new streamlined font to support all language and keep a cohesive interface. Pop-up message redesign, revised the design of red pop-up messages to improve readability and alignment with updated fonts and languages. This is actually really important because the old red pop-up message wasn't really much of a pop-up message. It was just red text written on top of the entire UI, and often you could miss it. It's not very obvious. My only thing about this really is I would like to hear maybe even an optionable audible cue for this message, like just a or something obvious to say something has happened. Because if I'm focusing on a YouTube video while I'm hunting and I don't see that, it can take a little while for me to register. Oh, hang on, I've stopped shooting or whatever, I've run out of ammo, or my FAP has died, or all this kind of stuff, right? So an audible kind of cue to say that this has popped up would be really beneficial. And if people don't want it, an option to turn it off. It's as simple as that. So yeah, hopefully they could add that, but I don't know. We'll see. But yes, definitely a better visual experience on that pop-up message. Moving on, language selection enhancements, added language selection to the client loaded drop down menu. I'll leave you guys to explore that piece because obviously, you know, I'm English and therefore the game already supports the language I need. So I'm not going to start messing around with languages I can't understand, right? Space changes. High-level M-type asteroids have been added to Howling Mine PvP area. What's not clear from this is what PvP area. Are we talking about lootable near Howling Mine, or are we talking about in the non-lootable area? What's the deal with that? Space station to space station teleportation cost has been lowered from 15 to 10 ped. I'm kind of assuming this is on top of the teleportation token, unless that's an either-or situation. I don't know. I haven't done it because of the weight limit. I never really do it. You know, the 150 kilos is too restrictive for me. Because I'm constantly running around with like 270, 300, whatever it is. Bronze, silver, gold, and Regolite Mayhem cosmetic tokens have been added to Mayhem Soul. That's interesting. However, I would like to see normal Mayhem tokens drop from all of the mobs, not just the bosses. So is there going to be an update on that? I hope so, because the amount of tokens you get in there at the moment is not maintainable, really. Okay, moving on. Movement update. Various base values for movement have been altered to make movement feel more fluid and responsive. Some notable changes are base movement speed has been increased. Agility scaling has been slightly altered. The max move speed is still the same, but earlier levels of agility will increase move speed more than before. Falling damage now deals percentage-based damage. Jumping is a lot quicker. Okay, so let's have a quick look at that. So we can run around. Yeah, I do. It does feel a little bit more responsive, that's for sure. And let's feel the jumps. Yeah, see, the jumps feel really good now. Now, I don't know about the kind of move speed. It might be kind of a placebo thing going on there. You know, it's a subtle difference, right? But the jumping is definitely improved because there was always this kind of stuttering with jumping. And it's just much better now. That's really good. Normally, you would have to kind of, when you land, you'd have to kind of spam to get going again to hit the, because there was always this kind of landing after delay that meant you couldn't just jump immediately afterwards. And then there's fall damage. So if we go up, I don't know, what's this? That's 10, 20, 30 meters. That's about 30 meters, right? Maybe a bit less. And we do about 71 damage. Now, I don't know what the values were before. Let's go a bit higher. So 30, let's go to 60-ish. So about there, maybe. And we get 140. That was about double. So yeah, if you have less health, are we saying you take less fall damage? So it's more about a percentage of your health rather than, you know, specific values, right? So because I didn't know this change was coming, I couldn't do a test for the previous values. Anyway, moving back to the patch notes, we've got camera update. There have been several QOL updates to the camera to make it feel smoother. The max camera distance has also been increased. So yeah, it's, you know, it does feel smooth, but I'm not sure if that feels any different to how it was before, to be honest. Because I don't tend to do this, I guess, that much. I mean, I used to, like, if I get a big Hoff, I would do this, but I think one thing I would say is it actually isn't reacting to the mouse wheel so well right now. It seems to kind of ignore it a little bit sometimes, because I used to be able to do this and it used to be pretty stable in terms of if I do 3 back, 3 forward, it would kind of stay in the same zone, but here it's kind of like I get further away and it doesn't go in the right amount, if that makes sense. So something's not quite right with that, I would say. Either that or it could be my mouse settings, I don't know. But yeah, this is huge. Being able to zoom out this far is absolutely huge. We used to be able to go out pretty far. I'm not sure it was as far as this, to be honest. It's been such a long time since we've been able to zoom out so far. Like, I think we were capped to here before, so we can go out once, twice, 3. Hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 times more we can zoom out. And this is going to be really beneficial for when you're hunting like big bosses, you know, the bigger mobs, or in a bigger group and you just want to get a bigger picture of the battlefield, right? Known issues. Installer does not yet support non-ASCII characters inside the file path, meaning if you try to install Entropia Universe inside a folder in, for example, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, Thai, or other special Unicode characters, the installation will not start properly. Some languages do not support bold or cursive fonts. Okay, normal fonts have been added in their place when the specific language is selected. Interesting. But the chat cannot activate bold fonts when unsupported language is chosen at startup. So I don't know about like, what is this bold fonts? How do you do bold fonts? Didn't know that was a thing. But anyway, moving on. Some texts in some languages might have minor text cut off. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to see this kind of stuff day to day. I can only see what happens in English, really. So your mileage may vary. Right. We've got some Aris content updates here. Daily mining and construction missions given by McGrangus. So we have new missions to get vouchers. Great. Changes. The Ironhaven Island has been overhauled a bit with new lower levels of weak, defective and faint creatures. That's good. Hopefully that allows, you know, the lower end players a bit more option for Aris. That's good. Obviously Aris is not intended to be a new player experience, but I think, you know, making it slightly more accessible, I think is a good idea. Droctimus Prime instance difficulty has been lowered to give more players a chance to fight it. That's good. That's good. I mean, you know, for a lot of us, you know, it's already easy, but I can imagine that for some players it's actually kind of challenging, especially because of the way the damage distribution of the bots on Aris is very different to the bots on Calypso. There is now an outpost with a teleport on the south tip of Ironhaven Island, so we'll have to go and get that. The island to the southwest of the main volcano has been moved to another server. There is a single intended way to get there, but having it on the same server as everything else led to too many exploits, bugs, and otherwise unintended ways to get there. Changed requirements for the AI missions to make them less time consuming. That's a big one. Hopefully it's manageable, so we'll have to try. We'll have to try one out. Lower spawn density around the Blivitron instance. Well, that's the Maulatrons, is it? It's the ones around broadcasters that are a problem. the warriors around broadcasters, they're always in the way. The path to the S9 Vault event area was made a bit safer. Okay. I guess we'll have to take a look at that as well. Auto loot is enabled in Vesuvor and Cinderac instances. Good. Mind Force teleportation is now fully blocked on the whole planet. So apparently you were able to teleport between teleports using a Mind Force teleport chip, which is a little bit of an exploit. Vehicles are now correctly blocked in the daily robot instances. I didn't realize you could spawn vehicles in there. I never tried. Robots should no longer spawn under the floor in the Droctimus Prime instance. I never experienced that. Interesting. The water volume near the Primanaut camp on the center island is now correctly reaching the bottom of the pond. I never thought to swim to the bottom, so I never saw that problem. Known issues. The sound is still not behaving and requires an in-depth investigation into the engine. Oh dear. So we've still got the sound bug. Okay. Next island. Changes. Several Next Island estates that were only intended to be apartments have been reverted. The Next Island halo has been corrected to remove the buff, which had previously been noted as incorrect. Oh no. Not my beloved halo. It's got no speed buff on it anymore. So I can't get a speed buff when I'm mining now with the Mankini. Right. I'm sorry, Mindark, but now I'm going to need a Mankini in hot pink with a 25% speed buff now. Okay? So let's make that happen. Okay, so that is that's the update for Entropia Universe as a whole, plus looking at Aris and Next Island. I don't know if there's any Cali stuff. I didn't see anything for it. So I had a look. I can't see any updates for Planet Calypso. So, oh, and I realised I was looking at the Halo and I wasn't showing you my screen. So, but it's fine. You know what the Halo looks like, right? Anyway, let's have a quick look at the Virtualsense update. We have VU 25.2 QHOF additions. 5 new limited weapons blueprints have been added to the Mersol token trader. What have we got? Okay, you can find the Mersol token trader at the information desk at the Citadel, as well as on the 6th and 7th floors of the Nahar Towers. 5 new ingredients are available in all QHOF instances that are needed for the new BPs. So, there's the A.R.I.S, which is a rocket launcher by the looks of it. Looks like a rocket launcher. I don't know what the DPS is on it, but the damage interval is 26 to 52, so it's kind of a low-end one. A.R.I.S 100, A.R.I.S 200, so a couple of A.R.I.S. Oh, it's all A.R.I.S. Oh, no, it's not. So we've got A.R.I.S 200, which does a damage interval of a lot more, 102 to 205, with a skill requirement of 25 to 30. And then you've got the A.R.I.S Carnage, which is 127 to 254 and a skill requirement of 30 to 36. Then we've got the Jin Ember. Again, I can't see the DPS, but the interval is 22 to 44. So it's kind of a, you know, lower mid kind of pistol. We're looking at a skill requirement of 35 to 37.5. Then we have the Jin Vermilion, which does 42 to 84. That's a bit of a jump in DPS. 65 uses. This one here is 86 uses. So this is going to sound, looking at the pistol design, it's going to sound like a mod merc, right? Because it does 86 per minute. So it's going to sound and look exactly like a mod merc, just not with mod merc damage. This one, 65, is going to be a bit more like a improved M2870, with a bit less, well, I don't know, a bit more damage actually than a improved M2870. A skill requirement of 67.5 to 70. Queen Nara's monthly 2-land event adjustment. The fog has been removed at the beginning of the event at Guardian Village. Additional event mob spawns and bosses added during the beginning of the event at Guardian Village. Increased event mob spawns throughout the weekend of the event across 2-land. Q-Hoff Cave adjustment. Reduce the kill requirement at the later wave 5 of the armor instance. Okay. Increase the timer of the Q-Hoff armor instance. Okay. Added a turret to Sweat Island. Reduced the requirements for extra tributes, mining Nawa drops, or a Keek weekly mission. And reduce the cooldown to 16 hours. This means that at the time you complete and turn in the mining mission, the 16-hour cooldown. So it's at hand in, not at pull. So, okay. Monria 2-land born players can now bypass the riddle for Where's My Pants mission from the NPC Nadira at Guardian Village. In doing so, a waypoint will be given to where you can get your Monria or 2-land exclusive pants to complete your outfit. Adjusted the low-level bot daily mission, the Frustrated Local, on DSEC 9 to kill half the amount as before for a reward of 2.5 ped universal ammo. That means 250 low-level bots for 2 ped 50 universal ammo. The mission thread will be updated. Trade, repair and storage terminals have been added to the Elder Churches on 2-LAN and DSEC 9. Okay, so that's the Virtualsense update. Some changes for Q-Hoff and some new items, new weapons. Good stuff. All right, let's move on to Cyrene. Planet Cyrene, June 10th, 2025 for you notes. Refurbished heart rank 10. Upgrade your rank 9 to rank 10. Okay, I haven't done rank 8 yet, so I've still got a long way to go. Utility swap. Refurbish heart repeatable. Okay, gear up new FAP stage 9. Okay. Lazarus at OX101 supply depot can start this journey. Okay, but I need to move on with my FAP mission anyway. But I haven't been back to Cyrene for a bit. Zin rucksack modified. So we only got the improved not long ago, and now we're into the modified. Talk to the Zin Council at Zin Tucano. Craft, hunt, and collect in the various missions from the council members across Cyrene. Upgrade your Zin rucksack improved. Okay. Zin sconce decoration and blueprint. Go and see Rogeher in Zin Tucano for the blueprints. Afterwards, they'll challenge you to a daily mission to improve your carpentry skill. ARC prestige upgrades. Provisioner Oban has new textures to acquire. Amos and Saphira have new repeatable missions from Imperium and Golems. Okay, repeatable Golem missions. There's Pua set up the unstable portal for Golem Caverns. Now this is good. The Golem Caverns is good because it means hopefully that in order to get my unstable Terrellian, I possibly don't need to go to lootable PvP anymore. But obviously there's a price to pay for going into this instance. But if that's true, this is huge. I can make some progress there, but I need to go and sort out the PvP kills, to be honest, because I'm kind of stuck on that right now. I need to organize it. Changes. The following missions have had additional blueprint rewards added. Daily texture trade, Hoban Statsk repeatable, daily texture crafting challenge, Cade Barnes repeatable, Ben's polka dot blueprint, Pleak feathers repeatable. Okay. Drill instructor Selbor now gives the option to trade for another set of trainee weapons. New maturities of rhino beetles have been seen around Cyrene, old and provider. We've got bug fixes. The following changes have been applied to the stable Tyrellian chain. The amount of Empyrean faction has been reduced from 20,000 to 8,000. This is a significant reduction. That's significant reduction, that is. It's more than half. It's less than half of the requirement now. The amount of faction given by high generation of Mechalubines has been slightly increased. I know Daito was saying that you didn't get a lot of faction for hunting the big ones, so that's good to see that's been increased. Is it enough? That's the question. The stabilizer bot near Quan TP will indicate if the requirements have been met. All creatures and on Cyrene have undergone 3D sound adjustments to resolve hearing them lost past being in range on so this was a problem. This is also huge, right? Because this has been a problem on Cyrene for such a long time. Like, you would hear mobs and then you get them out of range and you still hear them no matter where and then you could go back to Cali and you could still hear them. So that's huge if that's been fixed. Various typographical and grammatical errors have been corrected. Known issues. Support weapons are not currently working properly. This is a platform issue. This has been ongoing for some time now. All Cyrene vehicles, Pig-V, Spear, Lancer, Dragonfly, have default sounds. This will be addressed in a future patch. Hasn't this been going on for a while now as well? A supplementary mission for rank 5 of brown beetles to give proper mission rewards is not working correctly and will be fixed in a future VU. Some quality ratings information in the blueprint book, ARC, is incorrect. Quality ratings, okay. Okay, so that's the Cyrene update, and now we're going to look finally at the Arkadia one, because we're on Arkadia. And what we have is mutated creatures have emerged. Strange energy pulses have triggered the appearance of mutated creatures across Arkadia. These variants are more aggressive, unpredictable, and possess enhanced abilities. Enhanced abilities? What does that mean? Proceed with caution, they're not your usual wildlife. Okay, new quest, support hoverpod. Advisor Nina in the IFN supply depot is offering a new support quest. Complete her tasks to earn your very own support hoverpod. Perfect for field operations and short-range tactical mobility. Alright, we'll have to go and talk to Nina at supply depot then. Other notes, minor performance optimizations. Okay. It would be good to know what those are targeting, really. Bug fixes and stability improvements. Again, some info on what that was actually targeting. But that's pretty much it for the Arkadia stuff. But we do have new mutated creatures and a new hoverpod quest. So I'm going to go and look at that briefly before we head back to Cali. Okay, we're at the supply depot. We need to find Nina, wherever they are. Here they are. Look at this. Exploration Hoverpod Mark 1. Okay, I can't interact with it, but it tells me to interact with it. Anyway, let's talk to Nina, see what Nina says. You wouldn't believe how much sweat it takes to keep Arkadia's tech running. Literally. Wait, you mean actual sweat? Vibrant sweat, the stuff everyone underestimates. We're running low and I need 10,000 bottles plus some key materials to keep our hover tech online. You help us out and I'll make sure you hover away with something sleek. A hover pod? But before we can even process the transfer, we need something else from you. Combat data. Take out 100 of the local creatures to help us calibrate field resilience for the hoverpod systems. So I hunt first, then deliver sweat and materials. Exactly. Prove yourself in the wilds of Arkadia, then come back with the supplies. Do both and the hoverpod is yours. Fair trade, right? Thank you. Okay, let's go hunt some stuff. Let's see if we can go and do our Scoria mission. Because I have a Scoria one, Scoria Daily. Let's see if that contributes. Ah, there's that pop-up message again. Right, let's go over here. And as you can see, hunting these big Scoria does actually count for the eliminate Arcadian creatures. So, yeah, I guess you can hunt pretty much anything. I haven't tested Underground, obviously, or the Moon, but, so, you know, maybe worth a try. But just keep an eye on the ticker. So I completed my Scoria mission for today. So I'm going to move away from the Scoria because they're not really looting very well. I want to find out... Well, I want to get to these new mutated mobs, so I'm going to try and find those. So I've been given some positions for the new mutated mobs. I'm going to go for the biggest one. So we've got mutated Awiko up here. There's also mutated Kiana, Halix, and Ostalok. So yeah, those are all kind of smallish mobs. Oh, Arcadia's got... It's got the same kind of estates as Cali's got. The ones where you can grow fruit and stuff on them. There, look. I would like one of these, but it's just, you know, it's just so expensive, so... Anyway, we're going to teleport down to the Awikos and see what they hit like. Okay, we found them. Let's go. Level 46 Awiko Stalker. They've got some aggro on them. They're not making a huge amount of damage on the Gorgon Perfected. But they seem to hit quite rapidly. Yeah, kind of easy, really. So I don't know if they've got some kind of unique loot in them or something, but yeah, a bit more HP obviously than the standard Awikos. Okay, so we hunted the mutated Awikos for a bit. We managed to find a couple of plotted plants. And I found a limited Neo Scion 50A implant, which gives like 10% kind of absorption to your chips. But yeah, oh no, I got a 500 peda as well. It wasn't a half, it was just a global, but still a nice chunky loot. But yeah, I thought I'd come back to the Scoria and finish off here because I need to keep progressing my IFN Spec Ops mission. And I'm not going to do that on Awiko. So this is the last mob. And we have now completed that step for the mission for the hoverpod. So let's head back to Nina, who's probably going to tell us exactly what are the materials they want to hand in for this exploration hoverpod. Okay, we're back at the IFN supply depot. I'm just going to slowly walk over to Nina and find out what we need for the next step. We know we need 10,000 sweat, but I don't know what else we need, so it would have been good to know that up front. Back already? You look like you've been through a dust storm. Perfect. Now, do you have the sweat material? Yes. Okay. Right. So, we want the 10,000 sweat. We also want Myluka, A.R.I.S, Hekia, and Coria. Okay, we have, I think, everything we need. So let's try and get this trade sorted out. So we want 10k sweat and the 10 veneers, which were very kindly gifted by someone. I don't know who, but there they are. And perfect. You've just helped push Arkadia forward. Enjoy your new ride. Here we go. To use, right click. Okay, that's standard info. We already know that. IFN support hoverpod. Let's have a look at him. That's kind of cool. Got the camo stuff on it. Nice. We can view info. We can see it has 320 structural integrity. How does that compare to kind of other vehicles? View so 350. 1800. So it's about the same as a Strider. Let's get the info back up. And then let's have a look at the speed. 57.6. Let's get this side by side. And this one is 39.6. The power of this one is 140. I think the real question is, it's not got very good protection, whereas the Mark II Strider is a lot more protective. You can take a bit more damage, but obviously that means it decays more, right? The question is, can this go up hills in the same way the Strider can? I don't think they can, if I'm honest. But let's try it out. But I think these guys will just tend to roll. Or not do anything. Yeah, he can't make it up there. The Strider Mark II hits different, right? But, you know, all the same, it's a cool looking hoverpod with the camouflage gear on it. Maybe we'll use this. We'll try it out on Aris, see how good it is. But obviously, the Strider is still the king for climbing hills, provided they haven't nerfed that. Right. So that's it for Arkadia. We need to kind of head over to we need to head over to Aris now and have a look at, you know, what's going on with the changes over there. Okay, we are at the Aris space station now, and right away I can see on the map that the island to the south has been unblurred. Look at this. Now, this is the island they were talking about, I think. Yeah, this one. It's moved. It was up here. No, about here somewhere. Right? And now it's down here, I guess to prevent people from getting to it. Now, there is supposed to be an intended way to get to that island, and I think it's to do with the cubes, but we haven't figured out how to interact with them yet. So I'm not sure how we're supposed to do this, to be honest. Right, so let's head down and have a look at Ironhaven. There's a new TP to be found, so we need to go and do that. Okay, the Cali Aris loading thing is still a problem. I didn't experience the same problem on Ark, to be honest. Well, the AI has screwed me with giving me coordinator for the daily, so I don't know how that's going to go, to be honest. Derelict coordinator, warriors, and derelict drone. It says warriors rather than derelict warriors, so that might be a problem. We might have to go down to Cali to complete that one. So, okay, that's that mission. Oh, it's this guy here, McGrangus. So he's the one that tells you about the recipe for making the refined sweat crystal. But he's now got 2 new missions, a daily constructing mission. 20 attempts of flex plate, and we've also got Excavate 2,500 list. 2,500 list. Okay, so yeah. Listerium, not great. I don't want Listerium at the best of times. Anyway, let's head out and find this teleport. And also hit the weak Verderons, etc, etc. Meekling. Weak Verderon Meekling. Level 3. Even lower. So, like, proper low level now. Okay. I don't really want to hit Meeklings, though. So, let's hit the slightly bigger ones. Why are they huge, though? They're bigger than they were before. Haha. Okay. So we've got Meeklings, right? Let me go and scan one of those. No, not that. This. So a Meekling has 70 HP. A Skulker, level 5, has 140 HP. So can we find the original ones further along? Oh, we've got Defective Destroyer Gen 1s, and they're only level 4s now. Okay, we've done the weak Verderons now. I have not seen the original level 9s around here, so it might take a bit more exploration to find those, if they are indeed still around. So we're going to keep heading south, because apparently there's a teleport down at the far south. They've created a road further south. Outpost cursor. So if logic prevails, this will be, outpost I, indigo, whatever, right? Here we go. We're coming up on it now. Isaac. It was I. Transit base Isaac. Right. So they did make it I. Job done. Okay. Right, let me deposit some materials. We're going to go up and try the new reduced difficulty Droctimus. So I test drove the new IFN pod to the Droctimus spawn. It's super stable. It feels like, until I got to this zone where there's lots of loading going on. But yeah. Also, I noticed that around the Droctimus doorway, we've got destroyers. Level 9 so the level 9s are up here. Level 6 defective gen 3. But the defendrons aren't here. So yeah. I think the door tried to yeet me into the wall then. Okay, this is a lot easier. This is a lot easier. I'm like one-shotting everything. Yeah, this is hugely reduced in difficulty. Yeah, turrets are shooting at me. I had reports that the turrets aren't shooting, but they are. And Droctimus. Only a couple of shots, we get the Hyperion, we get the voucher. So yeah, as you can see, outside of the NextCon Vault, it's still swarming with warriors. That's still kind of a problem. Okay, we've come to the entrance to the Vaultforge Prime instance. I can see here that the Maulatron spawn is reduced. They do seem to creep up around this area though, which is still problematic, especially, well, if you're trying to do Vaultforge Prime, then you should be able to do those Maulatrons to a certain extent anyway, right? Okay, I did Oblivitron, so what I'm going to do now is head over to S9 and just see what the spawn looks like down there now. Okay, so the spawn still doesn't allow vehicles, but let's run on in and see what the deal is. It could be that basically this kind of opening area is clear of mobs now, so that you can actually spawn the S9 event more easily. Yeah, see a Gen 10 warrior over there. And over there. They are kind of bunched up all over there. There is one or two about here. But I'm able to run directly to the S9 event terminal without much bother, to be honest. Whereas before I'd kind of run around along the beach and then hope for a gap running into the actual doorway. The other thing I'm looking out for is, of course, scrap heap, Operation Scrap Heap mission bots. So basically the exterminator and the commander, but I can't see any. But I think what we're going to need to do is organise a posse of people to come down and try and spawn those. I wish we could get in this vault. Like after you kill the boss, the door should open up and we should have like a second stage, right? Anyway, I don't really need to show you crafting and mining for the extra daily vouchers. That's pretty mundane. It's pretty obvious. I think I've covered pretty much most of the things on the patch notes for Aris as well as Arkadia. And we did get our hoverpod, IFN support hoverpod, so that's good. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it's you know, helps you, saves you having to read the patch notes and try and figure all this stuff out yourself. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and comment down below if you've got any more comments or whether you found any new stuff. It's always good to know who of my subscribers is discovering stuff in the new VUs. So yeah, put a comment below, let me know what you found. That's going to be it for me. Bye bye for now.